Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm filming the 2021 Kia Sorento with the SX Prestige X-Line package versus the 2021 Toyota Highlander with the Platinum package. Yeah, I know this is not an apples to apples comparison because this has a V6 and this has a 2.5 liter underneath the hood here. But my tester here, which is the Toyota Highlander, has a moon dust exterior color, which looks really nice with the aluminum accents here. Contrast, looking at the the Kia Sorento here, which has the sparkling silver exterior paint. Both of them look really nice. Looks can be subjective, so I'm not gonna pick which one looks better, but if I had to, I'm definitely going for the Kia Sorento here. It looks more aggressive compared to the front fascia here of the Toyota Highlander. Looking at these headlight modules here for the Toyota Highlander, they're going to be an LED projector bulb with an automatic low and high beam and incandescent turn signal. I'm not sure why Toyota didn't go with a full LED setup here for the turn signal there, but down here they do throw in these LED fault lights here, a little part of the fascia. There's this wing here that cuts through the actual grille here. I like the pattern here that you get on the front fascia, basically on the grille here. There's this front facing camera. Looking over here to the Kia Sorento here, looking at the grille here, this Kia calls this the tiger face grille here. There's your Kia emblem there. Also, this does have a forward facing camera because both of these are the top of the line trim here from Kia and also from Toyota. Looking here at these headlights here, they're going to be a full LED projector bulb with an automatic low and high beam. Your LED turn signal and LED daytime running light are going to be integrated into one. And down here, Kia does throw in these LED fault lights here with front parking sensors, and the Highlander here does have front parking sensors as well. But I want you guys to comment down below in the comment section, which one of these would you pick for exterior styling? Like I mentioned, I will go for the Kia Sorento because it looks more aggressive. So let's talk about the powertrain underneath the Kia and also the Toyota Highlander here. Like I mentioned, it's not an apples to apples comparison because this has a V6 underneath the hood here. But starting off underneath the hood here of the Toyota Highlander, honestly, I'm really disappointed that Toyota gives you this pop rod, but this has the company's 3.5 liter V6. It makes 295 horsepower, 263 pound-feet of torque. It's paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. It does have direct and also port injection. Fuel economy is rated at 21 in the city, 28 on the highway, and 24 combined. Regular gas is required, and as the Highlander sits, it weighs 4,200 pounds. My tester is front-wheel drive. You can get all-wheel drive here on the Highlander. That's around a $2,000 extra charge that Toyota charges you for the all-wheel drive system. But contrast to that, let's look over here underneath the hood here of the Kia Sorento. This has a 2.5 liter four-cylinder, and also this uses a pop rod as well. So I'm really disappointed in these two brands here that basically uses pop rod. Like I mentioned, this is a 2.5 liter four-cylinder. It makes 281 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque. So this makes more torque compared to the Toyota Highlander here. Fuel economy for the Sorento here is rated at 21 in the city, 28 on the highway, and 24 combined. Of course, regular gas is required, and this is also paired with an 8-speed dual clutch transmission, so it's going to be a little faster compared to the 8-speed automatic here in the Toyota Highlander. And as the Sorento sits here, it weighs around 4,200 pounds, so they kind of weigh the same. And my tester does have all-wheel drive. This one is just standard with front-wheel drive. So looking at the side profile here of the Kia Sorento and also the Toyota Highlander here, let's start off with the Highlander here. This has the longer wheelbase in overall length. This has an overall length of 194.9 inches with a wheelbase of 111.2. Looking at these tires and this rim setup here, these are a 235/55 tire. They're wrapped in this 20-inch rim design. Since it's a platinum trim, Toyota throws in these big rim choices here. I do like the aluminum finish here with the multi-spoke design. Looking at this mirror cap here, it does have an LED side marker here with these aluminum painted roof rails, and Toyota does throw in this panoramic sunroof since this is the platinum trim. It's the top dog in the Highlander's portfolio. But making our way over to the Kia Sorento here, looking at these tires and this rim setup here, these are a 255/45 tire here. They're wrapped in this 20-inch rim design. I like the darkened gray finish here, but honestly, I'm not sure which color of choice or color of the rim choice I like. I mean, they both look good, don't get me wrong, but they do look good with the exterior color. Looking here, there's this LED side marker here with this gloss black mirror cap, and Kia does throw in these roof rails here, and also the Sorento does come with a panoramic sunroof. The overall length here for the Kia Sorento is at 188.9 inches with a wheelbase of 110.8. Of course, like I mentioned, this is not an apples to apples comparison because the Highlander is bigger by additional 6 inches and also with a bigger wheelbase by 1.4 inches. But let's look at the rear here of the Kia Sorento and also the Toyota Highlander. So looking at the rear of the Kia Sorento and the Toyota Highlander here, let's start out with the Toyota Highlander here. This has an LED combination tail light here with an LED brake light, with an incandescent reverse light, with an incandescent turn signal. There's this rear spoiler here. Also, your third brake light lives up top. There's this rear wiper here to keep the rear glass clean. Down here is the Toyota emblem. If you guys are wondering why my Tesla has two cameras here, one's for their rear view camera mirror that the Kia does not offer, and it's also, of course, for the backup camera. There's your Highlander name, which is spelled out. There's this platinum badge here, of course, to signify that you have the platinum trim. There's some chrome trim here at the rear of the vehicle. There's rear parking sensors. Down here is going to be these reflectors integrated into the bumper here. There's this aluminum painted trim here. There's no visible exhaust tips to it. They just basically hide it underneath the bumper there. But contrast to that, let's look at the Kia Sorento here. My Tesla does have full LED tail lights, it looks like, with an LED turn signal, with an LED brake light, with an LED reverse light. There's this all-wheel drive badge here. Like I mentioned, the Highlander does not have doesn't have all-wheel drive. There's your Sorento name, which is spelled out, which is a nice touch. Same thing with the Highlander, it spells the name out as well. There's your Kia emblem here. My Tesla just has one backup camera. It doesn't offer that rear view camera mirror like on the Highlander there. There's this SXT, the GDI, which stands for gasoline direct injection. Open up the cargo capacity here for both of these vehicles here. They both offer a power lift gate here. But before I forget, before I get into the cargo area here, looking down here at the little part of the fascia, there is rear parking sensors, and the reverse lights actually live into the actual bumper there, which is a nice touch instead of the upper part where the Highlander offers that. There's this aluminum painted bumper here. There's also one exhaust port, which Kia tries to hide it underneath the bumper there. Looking here at the cargo capacity of the Kia Sorento, this has 12.6 cubic feet of space. Once you guys fold down the third row here, Kia says you get 38.8 cargo space. Once you fold down all the seats here, there's these little buttons here on the side. You can press this button here that folds down the second row, and Kia says you get 75.5 cubic feet of space. Like I mentioned, the Highlander is a longer vehicle, so it's going to have more cubic feet of space. We're going to talk about that once we get over there to the Highlander. There's a 12 volt here, and underneath here, Kia does throw in some underfloor storage. Also, there's your jack, just in case your tire was to go flat. But closing the area back here of the Kia Sorento, making our way over here to the Highlander. I'm not sure why is it opening like halfway, maybe in the settings. I probably have it like that in the settings. But looking here, as you guys can see, the Highlander looks like it has less space, but it has 16 cubic feet of space. But as you guys can see, it looks like it has around like 11 to 10 cubic feet of space right here in this with this area here with the third row folded up. But just like in the Kia Sorento, you guys have these little straps here. I'm sorry, you have these. They have this little handle here. Once you pull that, the third row flops down, and Toyota says you have around 48.4 cubic feet of space. Once you fold everything down, unfortunately you have to actually go through the back door. So once you go through the back door here, you fold it down. Oh wait, sorry, whatever. So once you fold it down, Toyota says you get around 84.3 cubic feet of space. Like I mentioned, the Highlander is the longer vehicle here, so you're gonna have more cubic feet of space. And underneath here, before I forget, there's going to be some underfloor storage, just like in the Kia Sorento. But let's hop into the interior of the Toyota Highlander. So sitting in the front seat here of the 2021 Toyota Highlander Platinum trim, I showed you guys this key fob before. It's the same key fob that's in Toyota's portfolio, but looking here, there are some locks, there are some controls here, which is the lock, unlock, also for the trunk release and the panic button. The key feels nice and sturdy in my hand. Shutting the door here. To start up the Highlander, just put your foot on the brake and press the start side button over here. My Tesla has the company's 3.5 liter V6. I'm going to be really brief with this interior because I showed you guys the Highlander plenty of times before. So looking at this interior here, it looks really nice. My Tesla has the 12.3-inch display. It is equipped with the JBL sound system. Like I mentioned, I'm going to be really brief with this interior because I showed you guys this interior before. There's 3-level heated and cooled seats here. There's these big knobs here for the volume and tuning. Your air vents are here. There's this hazard switch there. This does have Toyota Safety Sense, so it includes foreclosure warning with blind spot monitoring, with lane keeping assist, also with lane trace assist. You can activate that through these buttons here. It does have adaptive cruise control with stop and go capabilities. There's this fake wood trim here on the door panels. There's 2-person memory seats, this aluminum door handle here. It is automatic up, automatic down for all 4 windows. Like I mentioned, I showed you guys this interior before, and up top here, there's this rear view camera mirror. You can get this on the Toyota RAV4 if you go for a top trim. Just in case you don't look at that camera, you can basically just flip it like that to have this normal mirror. Up here is going to be this convex mirror, also sunglass holder there. It's going to be incandescent lighting throughout the cabin here. Putting the Highlander into reverse, looking at the backup camera here, it's going to have a top-down 360 view. Just in case this looks a little grainy, Toyota does have this rear view camera mirror like I mentioned, but of course you guys want to look at this when you're backing up. It does have trajectory with front and rear parking sensors. Kicking over here to the left here, it does have a manual mode here in the transmission. It does have the 8-speed automatic transmission, so you can cycle through your own gears. There's no paddle shifters here on the steering wheel. Over here is going to be 3 USB ports with a 12-volt, 2 cup holders here, more of that fake wood trim. There's electronic parking brake, auto hold, your stability control, snow, also an automatic start-stop function there. There's your different drive mode selector, which shows you sport, normal, and also eco. The armrest here does hide the wireless charging pad. I put my iPhone 12 Pro Max there. It kind of sort of fits, but you have to basically remove your case if you have a thick case. Open up the armrests here underneath the wireless phone charger. There's a 12-volt, and it does offer a deep amount of storage. Closing this back here. I notice sometimes if you have your elbow here from the previous generation of Highlander, the center console will just open by itself. But Toyota, they fixed that. I guess they put a little lock function there. Over here is going to be this carbon fiber like trim. It does have this scratchy sound to it, but I do like the way that it looks. The dashboard here is going to be a nice leather wrap dashboard. Of course, you have this 7-inch display here. So if you guys don't like full LCD displays, you can look at these traditional analog gauges there, which is a nice touch. Like I mentioned, you guys can customize the screen from previous Highlander reviews that I did. My 12 Pro Max fits in here just fine. You can also run the cable underneath here. There's like a little small compartment there. The glove box here is a pretty decent sized glove box. As you guys can see, your owner's manual fits in there just fine. Looking at the seats here, they're supportive, they're comfortable. I like the way that they feel. I like that it has like this stitching on it. As you guys can see there, it looks really nice. But overall, let's hop into the interior of the Kia Sorento. Sitting in the driver's seat of the Kia Sorento, I showed you guys this key fob before. There's the same key fob from the Kia Stinger. There's this remote start here. The Toyota Highlander didn't offer a remote start, but there is this lock function there also for the trunk and a panic button, but the key does feel nice and sturdy. It actually feels better in my hands compared to the Highlander there. But to start up the Sorento here, just put your foot on the brake and press the start-stop button over here. The Sorento here has the company's 2.5-liter 4-cylinder. Does have an 8-speed dual clutch transmission. We'll talk about that in the driver's scene here, but looking here, as you guys can see, this screens here, they look like basically like a Mercedes product. My Tesla does have this 12-inch display here. You can customize that screen here. I'm gonna show you guys really quick by what I mean. You switch the drive mode over here. As you guys can see, this is sport mode, and I like the way that it switches. It looks really nice. I like how the sport gauges look. But looking at the door panel material, it's going to be a soft touch material here with this wood trim. The windows are going to be automatic up, automatic down for all 4 windows. Over here is for your driver's assistance. Looking here at the steering wheel controls, there's volume controls also with the DriveWise, which basically is for the highway steer assist. Looking at the infotainment system, this is a 10.25-inch display. The Highlander had a bigger screen, which is a 12.3-inch display. Over here is going to be touch sensitive buttons. Honestly, I'm not a big fan here of touch sensitive buttons because, as you guys can see, it leaves fingerprints and whatnot. And sometimes when you guys are basically clicking these buttons here, they respond really fast, or sometimes they're really laggy. But I do like the air vents here. They remind me of dumbbells. That's what Kia said that they basically are. That's why they have this design. Down here is going to be 3 USB ports. Over here is going to be this wood trim, but I'm not sure if it's real or fake. There's a nice leather wrap dashboard here. My Tesla does not have a rear view camera mirror like in the Highlander, but it does have LED lights throughout the whole entire cabin. And above, like I mentioned, it does have a panoramic sunroof from the outside scene. Also, the Highlander has a panoramic sunroof as well. I didn't mention that over there, but it does have it. It does let a lot of light into the cabin. Over here is going to be this flap here. You can close this just in case you have your phone there. It does offer a wireless phone charger there instead of in the center armrest here. There's 2 cup holders, the area here to rest the key. Down here is for the drive mode selector, which is smart, sport, comfort, and eco, and also snow mode. You can also lock the center differential just in case you wanted to take this thing off-road, but honestly, nobody's gonna really take this Sorento off-road. Putting the Sorento into reverse here, you guys can see there's a top-down 360 view, just like in the Toyota Highlander, but there's different angles that you can look around the vehicle. This is a side angle there, like I mentioned, a top-down 360 view, but the backup camera here does look a little bit better compared to the Highlander. Kicking it down here to drive and over to the left, it does have a sport mode here, and the transmission, like I mentioned, does has a 8-speed dual clutch transmission. Down here is going to be for heated steering wheel function, auto hold, hill descent, electronic parking brake, your parking sensors. You can also access the cameras there by this button. As you guys can see, it will display here, but it won't have the trajectory lines. You have to basically put the car into reverse to see the lines there. It does also have an automatic start stop. There's a small compartment here. Open up the center console here. It's going to be nice and padded. This also offers a deep amount of storage, but the Highlander did have a little bit more storage compared to the Sorento here. We're shutting this back. The seats in here, they're supportive, they're comfortable. I like the diamond stitching here looks on the seats. I actually like this pattern here as well. Looking at the glove compartment here, but it does offer a decent size, but the Highlander did have a deeper glove compartment. So to get into the second and third row here of the Toyota Highlander here, as you guys can see, my Tesla does have these captain's chairs here. Shutting the door, there's this fake wood trim here on the door panel. Toyota does throw in these manual sunshades here to block out additional light. It's going to be incandescent here throughout the cabin. There's also your air vents up top. My Tesla does have this massive panoramic sunroof to let the light into this cabin, but it does not go into the actual third row there. And Toyota does throw in these armrests here. They're adjustable, but they do not lock in place. Looking here at your own set of climate controls here, there's going to be 3-level heated seats, but there's no cool seats here on the actual platinum trim that I'm surprised to see. But down here, Toyota does throw in these 2 quick charging USB ports, also with this household outlet back here. Looking right here is going to be 2 mount pockets for storage. The floor back here is flat. If you guys are looking to sit 8 people, you have to go for a lower trim level that Toyota offers here. Over here is going to be 2 cup holders, but let's get into the third row really quick. You can either pass through here, but I'm going to show you guys how to get into the third row really quick. Toyota makes it pretty simple. They give you this handle. You use the handle right there, and the seat will tilt forward. You just push it a little bit. Getting back here, there's a nice little aisleway, but getting back here, Toyota, they scratched this vehicle by 2 inches, but they gave it to the actual cargo area. But I'm gonna slide the seat all the way back to its farthest setting. As you guys can see, I barely have any knee room or foot space underneath the second row, but I can ask the second row passenger here to slide the seat forward. But if I do that, it's gonna eat up that 41 inches of legroom that the second row has. There's gonna be 2 cup holders on the right side and also on the left side, so there's gonna be 4 cup holders in total. There's no charging ports back here in the actual third row. Toyota says you get around 27.7 inches of legroom, and honestly, do I believe them? Yes, I do. The third row here, as you guys can see, you can recline it, but you have to use these little scraps here from the second row. Like I showed you guys from the cargo area, you have to use the scraps to do that. But let's hop into the Kia Sorento really quick. So let's just walk over there and show you guys the actual space. So get into the second row and third row here of the Kia Sorento. As you guys can tell, this feels more spacious compared to the Highlander, but this has around 41.7 inches of legroom. The Highlander over there had 41 inches of legroom. Over here, the 2 sets of air vents here for the rear passengers. There's also a 12-volt, and down here, Kia does throw in 1 USB port. Compared to the Highlander, there's more charging capabilities, but there's going to be 4 map pockets back here in total. You have 2, which is a cargo net, and also these 2 traditional map pockets, but there is 2 USB ports here on the seat backs. The materials here are going to be a nice touch. I like this wood trim here. There's a cup holder. My Tesla does have the Bose audio sound system. Compared to that, the Highlander does have a JBL sound system, which they both sound okay. I like the way that they both sound, but this panoramic sunroof does look a little bit bigger compared to the Highlander. But getting to the third row of the Sorento here, Kia makes it pretty simple. They give you this button here on the lower part of the seat. You press that, as you guys can see, the seat will slide forward. As you guys can see, the aisleway here is pretty decent compared to the Highlander. It looks a little bit more bigger. But getting back here, shutting the door, I'm gonna slide the seat to this far as setting. And oh my God, there's not a lot of leg room and knee room here, as you guys can see, but my knees are not touching the seat back here, but I have plenty of foot space underneath the second row here. But I can access second row passenger to basically slide the seat forward to give me a little bit more leg room. But there's going to be two USB ports back here. The Highlander didn't offer that. There's also two cup holders and additional storage. But overall, the third row here in the Sorento is not bad, but it does feel more spacious compared to the Highlander. I'm gonna start off here in the Platinum trim, and then we're gonna work our way over to the Sorento for the driving portion here of this comparison test. Like I mentioned, this is not an apples to apples comparison test because the Highlander here has a 3.5 liter V6, but it has less torque compared to the Kia Sorento that I showed you guys underneath the hood. Like I mentioned, the Sorento is a shorter vehicle by 6 inches. The Highlander is going to be bigger, of course, even in the wheelbase by 1.4 inches. Horsepower and torque figures here on the Highlander. This makes 295 horsepower, 263 pound-feet of torque, and it's paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. That V6 is really good. It has a nice growl from it. I showed you guys the driving dynamics here on the Highlander before. Visibility out of the Highlander here is really good. As you guys can hear, the engine is off because I have the automatic start-stop function on. You can also defeat that by pressing this button here. I do like this interior here. The Highlander does offer the bigger screen, which is a 12.3-inch screen. Just like on the Kia Sorento, you cannot basically have the CarPlay take up the complete screen. Unfortunately, I'm not sure why. Maybe it's a software update that Toyota needs to offer here in the Highlander. And that V6, it sounds really good. Like I mentioned, this is paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's not paired with that dual clutch transmission that's in the Sorento. We're gonna talk about that once we get inside the Sorento. The steering feel, it's playful. This thing, you can sit your family up in this Highlander here because this does offer 3 rows of seating, but the third row, like I showed you guys from the third row scene there, is basically reserved for kids because I'm 5'8" and I didn't have any foot room underneath the second row. Yes, if I actually second row passenger to slide the seat forward, yes, I know I can get more inches of legroom, but then it's going to eat up the 41 inches that the second row passenger has. This does come with Toyota Safety Sense, so it does include forward collision warning with blind spot monitoring, with lane departure, with active lane tracing assist. So Toyota does have you basically safe in this Highlander here. Like I mentioned, great visibility. I love that my tester has this massive panoramic sunroof to let some light into this cabin here. But overall, the Highlander doesn't have a bad interior. It's really comfortable. It's spacious in here in the first and second row here, but not in the third row. Like I mentioned, it's going to be reserved for little kids. My tester also has a heads-up display that you can customize to show different things like your driver support, also your speed and your RPM layout. But just driving the Highlander, it's really quiet. Let's put it into a sport mode here. Toyota gives this little toggle here. Put my foot to the floor. The 8-speed automatic is really fast to shift, and it does have a nice growl from that V6. But the driving dynamics here of the Highlander is really good, and my tester is not all-wheel drive like the Sorento. It just comes standard with front-wheel drive, but you can get all-wheel drive for around $2,000. And I also forgot to mention, the Highlander can tow 5,000 pounds. So if towing's your thing, you have to check out the Highlander. But this vehicle drives really good, has really good driving dynamics. Of course, you guys know that Toyota does have good reliability and durability, and also practicality, because you get around 84.3 cubic feet of space. And the Highlander, it gets up to speed really fine. It doesn't make a lot of pound-feet of torque, but it does make more horsepower compared to the Kia Sorento. But let's hop into the Sorento and see how it compares to the Highlander. So just hopping out of the Toyota Highlander, like I mentioned, it's not an apples-to-apples comparison because the Highlander has a good old traditional V6 with direct import injection. My tester here has the Kia's 2.5 liter 4-cylinder underneath the hood. It makes 281 horsepower and also 311 pound-feet of torque, and it's paired with an 8-speed dual clutch transmission. So I know the dual clutch is going to be way faster compared to the 8-speed automatic. So let's put this thing into its sport mode here. Ooh. Ooh, Jesus. Have this thing in sport mode, this thing will take off. Like I mentioned, it makes 311 pound-feet of torque. And my Tesla does have all-wheel drive. If you guys go for a base trim, Kia makes you pay around $1,800 for the all-wheel drive system. If you guys want all-wheel drive, honestly, here in South Florida, it's not really required to have all-wheel drive. But if you guys just want that for a preference thing, you can definitely get the all-wheel drive system. But it's going to be an $1,800 charge. Visibility out of the Sorento here is really good. Good commanding view of the road. In the Sorento, I feel like I'm sitting a little higher compared to the Highlander. I feel like I'm sitting just a little bit lower in the seat when I was sitting in the Highlander, but this does come with Kia's DriveWise package, so it includes lane tracing assist, also with highway stir assist, blind spot monitoring, forward collision warning with rear cross traffic alert. So it does basically keep you safe with the driver's assistance. It's going to come standard on both vehicles. Toyota doesn't make you pay, or neither does Kia. They give it to you as standard equipment. This is the same engine that's in the Hyundai Sonata inline and also the Kia GT. So basically they just stuffed this engine inside the Sorento here. This thing is really peppy. And that 8-speed dual clutch transmission is so snappy. The 8-speed in the Highlander, don't get me wrong, it was snappy, but this one feels buttery smooth as well, but it's going to be way more snappy. The shifts are so precise. Steering feel, it's really not playful how it was in the actual Highlander, but both of these vehicles have really good driving dynamics. I'm not criticizing either one of them, but I do like the powertrain here in the Sorento here, even though it's down in horsepower, but it's really torque rich, around 1700 RPM, so it does have a lot of low end torque, which I do like. The seats in here, they're comfortable, they're supportive. I did have a better time sitting in the back seat in the third row of the Sorento because you get around 29 inches of legroom, like I showed you guys from the second and third row scene. But just driving the Sorento, this thing handles so good. And it's so fast. Oh my God. And that 2.5 liter, even though it's not a V6, it still sounds pretty good. And the shifts are so fast. They're buttery smooth. I know I didn't do this in the Highlander, but I did it in the previous review. But let's launch the Sorento here. I haven't tested this 2.5 liter turbo engine with the dual clutch. As you guys can hear, my Tesla has an automatic start-stop system. Let's turn off the traction control here. Traction control is disabled. Foot on the brake and accelerator is building up. There is no torque steer, no wheel hub. Like I mentioned, this thing makes 311 pound-feet of torque. And honestly, like I mentioned, both of these vehicles drive really good. So I really can't pick which one I would want to basically drive every day. But I do like that this car offers a lot of low-end torque. So spending time with the 2021 Kia Sorento X-Line with the Prestige package here. Starting price here for my Tesla is at $42,590. With all the bells and whistles here, the Sorento stickers for $44,080. Contrast to that, looking at the Toyota Highlander Platinum here, this has a starting price of $46,965. With all the bells and whistles, the stickers for $54,338. Yes, the Highlander is going to be way more expensive, but if you have money to play and you want a Toyota badge with also 3 rows of seating, the Highlander is not a bad choice, but it's going to be a little bit more expensive compared to the Sorento here. But if you're looking to basically save money, the Sorento is not a bad option. But I'd like to give a special thanks to South Dade Kia for providing me with the 2021 Kia Sorento, and also a special thanks to South Dade Toyota for providing me with the 2021 Toyota Highlander Platinum. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at DriveOnReviews, and please keep subscribing to my YouTube channel. Hope you guys have enjoyed this quick comparison here of the Sorento and also the Highlander. If you guys want to support the channel, just check out the description box down below, and I catch you all in the next video.